The wind in the willows. A smiling knife in someone's back that gets forgiven because it is cute in its stupidity. Alright, we got The Wind in the Willows here. Children's book. We got anthropomorphized animals. Author is Kenneth Grahame, and it was released in 1908. Yes, that's over 100 years ago. Bananas. Okay, Wind in the Willows. This book sucks. Anyway, it's infuriating, poor, rubbish, I would say an anti-fable. I'm going to read you the review that I wrote right after I read it. Now, Wind in the Willows, I believe it was like a TV show, a cartoon when I was a kid, and it's just a name that I knew. Like, there must have been like a reboot type situation or something that happened that was fairly new in like the late 80s, early 90s that put it on my radar, but I had never, like I knew it was a thing and that there were books, but I never read them or anything, I should say read it. But I think there might have been some like offshoots from the characters, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I didn't read it until a couple of years ago, and I'm going to read what I wrote right after I read it because, yes, it is accurate. I almost regret owning such a beautiful edition of such a frustrating book. I'm just going to interject here. I do regret. I bought the book out of nostalgia for what I thought my memory of the animated series I watched as a child. I was mistaken here. And such a familiar and notable title. The first half of the story is lovely, but the latter half is not only confusing, animals in human jails, toads and humans being the same size, toads riding horses, etc., it's also incredibly annoying. I need to mention, no spoilers, really, at all, but I'm going to talk about some things, but just not specifics. We have a tale where a character who treats everyone like rubbish and endangers lives selfishly. In the end, his friends stand by him and he escapes from his consequences. What a poor example. I tried to give the benefit of the doubt, thinking that this is a tale of nature, how one cannot change their nature. They simply are what they are. But the story is negligent. The character in question does not receive their just deserts. In fact, they are seemingly rewarded first for their antics and then, at the last second, seem to change their behavior. Maybe. I wanted to riot. This falls right behind Sunshine Sketches for me. The story attempts to be cute and fails. I also felt that the story shifts too heavily from what it sets up to what it becomes, a soft story focusing on multiple characters that then zeroes in on one ghastly example of life. What an affront to my palate. And if you know how I feel about Sunshine Sketches of a Little Town, then you know how bad The Wind in the Willows is if I'm comparing it to that or saying it trails right behind it, because Stephen Leacock can go fly a kite. I hate that book so much. Can lit. Was not lit for that book. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know how much else to say about it because I'm not going to get into spoilers. But this is a beautiful edition, and I'm going to try to sell it in Calgary actually later on. It's wonderful. It's great. I have had beautiful editions of books before that are rubbish, and this is one of them. So I thought it was one thing, it was another. However, I will say, as objective as I can be, it's not, because I was like, you're just not the target audience for it. So what is the target audience for it? People who are into stories with no consequence. It's just a story, that's all it is. It's not neither here nor there, which is different, I would say, than a book that is really open-ended and is like a slice of life type book, which we've talked about those kind of before, where it's like things happen, life is a thing. But this, it's presenting itself as though it's going to be like this fable, and there's morals and there's lessons learned, and there's not. Like, we've just got a horrible, horrible character, atrocious with their actions, and then, well, what is the lesson? People treat you like garbage, and then you and your friends all get together and show them, like when they're in trouble, you all get together and help them out, even though they treated you like absolute trash forever. Is that the lesson here? Because I don't think this is, it's supposed to be a children's book, and I'm just like, what is the point of this book? It's just because I think the target audience would be, I don't know, again, like adults for one, and if you just don't care about I don't know. It just like betrays the whole setup and stuff too. And it's like this dude learns nothing. Like he might at the end maybe be like, "Oh, the overwhelming kindness of others has made me change my ways." But it's just like that's not real life. Like, should we be kind to everyone? That's hard to say yes to. But that's the thing. Even if you were a person who's like, you know what, just forgive and forget. The forget part isn't happening here. You can forgive someone and then you could forget about it and forget about them. And just be like, when that person comes around, you don't give them an opportunity to betray your trust again. You say, hey, no ill will. I hope you get on your feet. I hope you succeed in life, but I'm not going to be a part of this anymore. You're a toxic person. You treated me really poorly in the past. And like, we need to cut ties and good luck to you, but that's it for me. But these characters just keep putting themselves in situations to help this person out who's like, not person, but this animal out who's just complete garbage to them. And I don't know why. And it's upsetting and frustrating and stupid. And I don't like this book. And it's trashola. So, does it serve any importance? No. What's its function? I don't know. The first half of the book is like cool stories to read to your kid, I guess, about little animals doing fun things and having kind of little adventures. And the last half is what not to be in a person and how not to react when bad people treat you bad. It's off the shelf. I already kind of alluded to that because I'm going to try to sell this beautiful edition. Off the shelf. Garbage, it's gone. It's out of my life. No good. Can't have it. That's it for me. That's The Wind in the Willows. And if I can't sell it, I just might throw it into the forest.